Alright, Chapter 2, Blackjack Dictionary. Using the dictionary, the words or term or headings are in large, bold type, underline as you've available the strategy, technique, XX abbreviation, acronym, key, strategy or system to type, name, system developer and author. Blackjack, common reference for the game of the 21 is a card game played between the dealer 1 to 7 players, also called Vindugatum, Pontoon, and Van John. When players, the first two cards are an ace, any 10 value card, also called natural or snapper. References include with the brackets and date and time of the publication numbered. Point counting strategies: 2 through X is the card count value used. BC is better correlation in percentage. PE is playing efficiency in percentage. They've been all given A through 10 has been given an X amount. Betting. Your ace is 0.6. Effective card removals. Playing and betting. Rules and variation. PA stands for approximate player advantage in percent. HA, approximate house advantage in percent. Star products I rate excellently high. Recommended diamond products I highly recommend, but may be personally biased forward. Alright, 1. One of the two value of the ace is declared by the player. The ace is removed with a single deck of the Las Vegas Strip, the rule game. If an ace is removed from the single deck of the Las Vegas Strip, the rule is it puts the player at a negative 61 degrees disadvantage. One deck, single deck. A low card which was removed from the single deck of the Las Vegas Strip rule game gives the player as much as 38% advantage. Stiff card. When the dealer has one of the up cards and the dealer has what is referred to as a potential stiff hand. A deck. C2 deck. A lower card which is removed from the single deck of Las Vegas rule game gives the player a plus 45 advantage. Deck. C3 deck. Lower card which is removed from the single deck of Las Vegas rule game give player its 55% advantage. Deck. C deck 4. A low card or unique sensitive that is convert all stiff hands with the pat hands. The most valuable card the dealer removed from the single deck of Las Vegas Strip rule game is to give the player a plus 69 advantage. 2. Acronym 5 card 21 pays bonus. 5 deck size of 5 deck. Low card which is removed from the single deck of Las Vegas Strip rule game gives the player a positive 40% advantage. Alright, acronym 6 card 21 pays bonus. 6 decks. 7. A low card considering low card neutral card will remove the single deck Las Vegas rule game gives the player the 28% advantage. 8. The most neutral of all card games which are removed from the deck has most neutral of all cards which if the removed from the deck have little or no effective advantage. 8 deck. See 8 deck. A card with it is removed from the single deck Las Vegas strategy rule game puts the player at 0.18% disadvantage. 10. A 10 value card with a 10 Jack, Queen, or King. There are 16 value cards on the deck with a card. The card was removed with the single deck Las Vegas Strip. Rule game puts the player at 51% disadvantage at C10. One of the two values of the aces is declared by the player C1. 12 through 16 is a stiff potential break hand. 14 is a C reverse 1973 APC. 7 through 21 is a pat, potentially winning hand. Alright, the best sum of the card of the values player can obtain the value is called Blackjack if it is from the original 2 cards, 10 value card plus an ace. Alright, 22 through 31 is a busted hand. 52 for the number of the cards in standard deck of the cards playing, excluding jokers. 6, 7, 8 player popular bonus hand in social blackjack games in some of the casinos. Some of the casinos have experimented with playing players of the bonus if they receive the hand suited, but only if they win the hand. In other words, the player does not receive the bonus if he ties the dealer with the dealer turns up the natural C, the rule 21, or C 7, 7, 7, or 8 Jack bonus. Ace and Jack bonus. Royal 21 is a popular bonus hand in social blackjack games. In some cases, C 6, 7, 8, C Ace Jack bonus. Alright, side note: 2 exotic rules obtained options above have appeared in casinos of the following format. 6, 7, 8 suited pays 2 to 1. 6 suited winning 7, 7, 7 suited pays 3 to 2. In each case, above advantage is small. The personal advantage is 1/10 of a percent according to the wrong bad software. All right. 5555. A bonus hand offered in some casinos typically pay off due to 1. Blackjack dictionary. Alright, ignore ace cannot yield and very good estimate advantage of the player for the given situation. Ace has little effect the players over the playing strategy, but is critical to the player's beating strategy. See ace count reference to a dollar chip. A. See ace acronym for large bets accepted graciously. AC Atlantic City. AJ. Bonus ace and jack of spades is a popular bonus hand in social games. In some casinos, the player is also paid double for a bonus if he gains 4.2% of a gain. The IQ count, Force Hills, see high opt. A is 0, ace is 0, 2 is 1, 3 is 1, 4 is 2, 5 is 2, 6 is 1, 7 is 1, 8 and 9 are 0, and 10 is 2, negative 2. Ace, 1, playing blackjack, playing cards a single pip on the face whose values counts 1 through 11 to declare the player ace for the critical importance of the game. 21 often will be the ace where even the split hands would be impossible to perceive any soft hands or blackjack. Any card counting system that ignores the ace cannot be able to good estimate advantage of the player given the situation. Ace has little effect on the player's overall player strategy. For critical betting strategy, see ace count reference to $1 chip. Ace adjustment. Adjust the player's bet size based on the portion of aces remaining to be played. See ace adjustment factor. See ace count. Ace adjustment factor. A number of specified advanced card counting systems with the ace sign with a point value of 0. Side counting is different. Ace is therefore required to determine the factor with a multiplied by the number of aces rich as aces poor in order to adjust the running count with a better purpose. Ace count. The running count strategy, RCS, is a strategy whereby the player counts all of the aces thereby dealt, raise and lower his base bet based on the information. CS side counting. As more advanced card tracking system separate side count, but the player keeps additional regular point count. Some systems initially assign with a point count value of 0 to ace expect the players to count and keep it on the side count. Ace 5 count, a simple ranked counting strategy where the player keeps track of ace and 5s only. See Houston 5 count, ace poor. And when there is a low average poor portion of the ace remaining to be played with the general favors of the house, however, the players may notice of the general breaking activity. See pours and see ace rich. Ace rich, where there is greater than an average proportion of the remaining to be played with the general favors of the player due to the higher probability of receiving the natural, although the dealer also has some chance of receiving the natural. Player is paid greater odds of 3 to 2 with C rich and ace and poor. The Ochtenziner Audrey, a German term for the game Blackjack Act. The false personality adapted by the expert blackjack counter to help disguise the casino personnel the fact that the skilled player C action, heavy action, total amount of the money of the player wages over a period of time. For example, 100 bets at $5 each is $500 in action. For the dealer's perspective, the action can refer to the games where the players are bearing larger amounts of checks. Action player term offering referring to the player who has enabled the gambling with a pay for the sake of the gambling, not necessarily for any profit motive. High rollers and junket players would fit in this category. All casinos like to cater action players who are often the first to be offered comps when available. Action 10 running with the RWC. 1990 Blackjack strategy developing Steph Hedler have marketed Jay Patterson as clump card blackjack from its advertising. Action 10 is a method exploiting the dealer-based games interactive approach to include the specific betting strategy for the unit win goals, stop losses, signals moving in more aggressive betting mode, like over the target method, with a certain factors such as chips, bet, cards, flows. However, the end 10 action 10 differs in whether the player is actually looking for. Action 21 Carousel decks, blackjack variation offered with a Harrow's Tahoe in December 1986. 12 single decks were individually shuffled and stood on one end of the slot with a playing plastic carousel. Players place their bet before the dealer spins the carousel. When the deck lands in the open one, slot is removed from the one round. Just blackjack chewing gum. Most made of sugar, gum-based, corn syrup, natural, artificial flame, artificial color. adjusting running count adjusted, AG, adjusting running count. The running count adjusted to reflect the number of aces, rich and poor, see adjacent adjustment factor. The term advantage of the player once referred to the person who cheats, usually using an altered card or dice. Advantage of the player of the casino enjoys depends on the number of factors. These factors include rules of the game, number of the decks, randomness of the cards, strategy employed, and penetration. If the player correctly uses basic strategy in a game, his long-run advantage could be range from 0.1% in single-deck games of the Las Vegas Strip rules, or double down after splitting, allowed with a disadvantage greater than 1% for typical double exposure type of games. See player advantage, see house advantage. Approximate casino advantage, various basic strategy players. Amateur shuffle operation via the decks approximately in two groups with the end card interleaves to the singly in the cluster of 2 and 3 according to some of the population of the distribution. Anchorman, shorted for to anchor. Player to the right of the dealer who is last to act on the hand before the dealer. As far as the basic strategy of the game is concerned, this position is often erroneous and considerably to be highly important to access success failure of the other players. Side note, Anchorman can also be used as the in-place cheating dealer in-place accomplice to a cheating dealer. The Anchorman can hit and stand according to the signals from the dealer, thus taking undesirable cards off the top of the deck. Third baseman. Anderson counting, see Ruperton. Ace is -2, 2 is 1, 3 is 1, 4 is 1, 5 is 2, 6 is 1, 7 is 1, 8 is 0, 9 is -1, and 10 is -1. Your APC, advanced point count. See APC count system. Apron, the cloth band worn around the waist by the casino dealer. The apron's worn by many of the dealers, usually fastened by elastic hand in the back. Casino's logo and or other name usually imprinted over the apron. Archer system. A through 9 has a 1 value and 10s have -2. Arizona. Aruba. Out in the Korean just south of the Venezuela, along with the Aruba and Benduar of the North Antilles of the island. Therefore, several casinos offer casino blackjack. Aruba rules, typical blackjack Aruba rules in Iceland and Aruba, New Netherlands are as follows. All games have six decks. Dealer stands on South 17. On double 10 or 11 only. Bonuses on the same casino. Ashtray. With peers and blackjack disposal of the cigarette ashes, players may be able to estimate how long smoking players have been playing, noticing how many cigarette butts they are in the ashtray. Some of the estimated 10 minutes per butt. Of course, that empty tray. Asia. Many of the countries in Asia have legal casinos offer blackjack. Their countries include Korea, Myanmar, Malaysia, Philippines, Sri Lanka, and others. Asian rules vary through Asia, whereas many unusual, sometimes advantageous games. For example, the typical Korean casino is also 4-6 decks face-up. Las Vegas Strip rules. Early surrender versus 10 only. Players 21 push your dealer. 10 up blackjack. Resplitting all the aces. Lose all double downs and splits and dealer naturals. 5-card surrender. Atlantic City, the largest concentration of legalized gambling in the northeast of the United States, located with the southeast New Jersey Atlantic coast of the rules of the Blackjack in Atlantic City, and specified by the New Jersey Casino Control Commission. First casino resorts international opened doors on the public on May 26, 1978. At one time, Atlantic City, some of the best blackjack rules in the world, which include early surrender of the today. Atlantic City 12 casinos offer the players of 700 blackjack tables to and from at the time. Right in the following casinos were in operation, and then it lists Atlantic City rules. Typical Atlantic City rules follow the double on any first two cards. Dealer stands on the soft 17. Really splits allowed. Double after splits allowed. Most Atlantic City games use 4 to 6 to 8 decks face up with the majority with the 6 decks, and most significant change of the Atlantic City rules in 1978 was abolishment of the early surrender in 1981. Side note, at the time of the writing, some of the casinos experimented with the double decks, last surrender, progressive 21 side bets, and figure 5 card, 21 over 30, 18 selected table. You can probably expect with many of the change a few years of the island casino increased competition with the Indian Reservation Riverboat Gambling Casino Control Act was modified in 1991, allowing 24-hour gambling in Atlantic City. Also, poker was introduced in several casinos in 1993. Advita proven method play, Advita Boss, Austin Starter, Ace 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ace is 0, 2 is 0, 3 is 1, 4 is 1, 5 is 1, 6 is 1, 7 is 0, 8 is 0, 9 is 0, and 10 is -1. Australia. Casinos offer blackjack can be found with the Lydian, Alicia Springs, Broad Branch, Turbo, Delancey, and Port with Untitled values. Most game 6 decks, double the 9, 10, 11. The dealer stands on soft 17, double after splits allowed. Other rules than normal. Automatic shuffling machines, mechanical device automatically shuffle the cards for the dealer. Number of different devices have been used for the casino over the past. The AWC counting -2 for ace 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 2, 6, 1, 7, 0, 8, 0, 9, 0, 10, -1. B. Back counting. To count cards while standing beside or behind on the table, but not actually playing when the technician particular technique or the particular use of the multiple deck shoes because the counter can wait for the variable to count before the wagers any of the money. The single, the double deck games of the dealer will be prone to the shuffle up the one upon you. Technique is usually done with the position in the back of the players and can be based on the team play with the belonging back room. The room of the area which of the suspected cheating card counter is questioned by the casino security personnel cheating. Backer is also called backer man, also called the bankroll. The bankroll, an individual or group who is financed for the game. Backlining. Ruler option allow the standing of the playing in the place of the bets along with the shove of the seated player's bet, but the typically seated player allow the charging and playing hands if the option very popular in Europe, where you be find several players and standing behind the winning player betting along beside him. Bahamas, the blackjack offered Grand Bahama in the new province for the island at the time of the writing, and the following casinos were in operation. Bahama rules, typical blackjack rules, observe the Bahama 6-deck shoe, the double 9, 10 only. Dealers stand on top of 17 doublers or splits allowed, no resplits allowed, balance count. Card counting system begins at the end of the same number. The high-low system is examples of the balance count with unbalanced count bank. As changing bank of the playing of the stake of the player of the team of the bankroll. Banker, a term used for the social blackjack game of the players share of the responsibility for the heating, being a dealer and a banker. Some of the establishments of the California card rooms have also referred to as blackjack games where require a player to be a bankroll or bankroll. A money management term with referring to the total amount of the money that the player has set aside with a gambling purpose with the betting handling and the backer. The bar is determined as the bar from the casino of the game control measure for the restrict game of the undesirable. This includes cheats, disorderly person, players suspected of card counting in the blackjack cheating and see with the game control side. Note, players should be aware of barring tactics. Some of the pros have used to get into the full game, and the pro checks are only out with the players that give them appear to be big cards on counters and very professional. Have quality tell with the counters heads action no longer welcome in this casino after the counter fact. See, the pro sits down and pays. Barber pole, also called the rainbow, a bet consistent with a chip with a different determination of the color. Typical casino policy is to break down all bar pole bets that have been paid with the color for color. Basic strategy, also called zero-sum strategy, strategy for the neutral deck, mathematically derived, computer-proven the system, finding optimal way, playing hand based on the value of the player card deck, up card dealers, players. Basic strategy is slightly different than single the multiple deck and games and do the rule variation. See Chapter 4, comprehensive basic strategy chart that covers most games in the world. First scientifically mathematical sound attempts of the divide of the basic strategy from the aid of the Roger E. R. Baldwin and A10L sequence in 1953 and 1963. Edward O. Thorpe published the findings of the optimal blackjack strategizing using a high-speed computer. Thorpe's work was later refined by Julian Braun, who wrote the first program of the computing exact possibilities of the game. RSC BCC betting correlation. B. Beat the Dealer Computer, a non-electronic pulp-sized mechanical computer developed by Dr. H.T. Tom Bean, 1964, some of the systems of the Edward Thorpe. This is a plastic device, basically a circular slide rule that computed others than tens, and the ratio of the better size could obtain when the read visibly that they could be attained by touch. B. Reference of B-band cards which have an unbroken diamond pattern, which have no border. Manufactured in the United States, playing majors, abstract playing card. Players should be aware that the cards held in the hands of the no borders are essentially dealt in seconds from the diamond design dazzle player that the general makes it impossible to see whether the dealer has pulled the top card off the second of many of the casino B brands with or without their own logo printed with the center of the card. Bet, wagering on the dollars and chips of that player makes before the card is meant. Bet sizing to vary one bet according to the advantage held given the situation. Bet spread. See spread. Bet variation to vary one of the best counting other system indicator rules and lowers. Bet correlation or BC index measuring the closely card counting system approximate advantage of the player has given the situation. Best efficiencies approach is 100% with the ace given into the non-zero potential. Point value of the index is often used to compare the relative strengths of one system over the other. Playing efficiency. Betting efficiency, see bet correlation. Betting handle, total amount of the money the player actually wagers during the gambling session over a more extended period of time. Bets and progression, see progression. Betting ratio, mathematical ratio between a higher and lowest bets placed on the player. Betting spread, see spread. Betting strategy, compared with the playing strategy of the player used in sizing his bet for the betting being the dealt his first two cards. 5. The mathematical difference between estimated value and the true value statistic obtained with a random sampling of the blackjack basis if described in tendency of the game of the player bias is often defined as the game most of the players are winning as the dealer bias of the games with the dealer is winning most hands. The bias is in either way of the situation when applied, but these games would have a tendency to continue as before. However, it does can also be said with the standard deviation of the number of the hands of blackjack can account for the both of cases where the detectable exploitable player bias exists in blackjack to still a very controversial objective of the target. Bias parameter, also see called bias plus. Gaming International, Paramount, Ohio. Situation method of supposedly give the player running a measurement of the integrity of the game. See tally or see target. New bias parameter, updated version of bias parameter reflects the effects of such things as the player breaks and dealer 2-card total integrity of the table, inverse hand, see target. Big player, BP, blackjack team player that makes a large bet but does not count with the cards. The blackjack player is often supported by the team. Members generally, members who are making small bets but not playing it at all, generally preferable for the big player to be left of the counter. This all allows the counter to dispose of the cards prior to using his hands to signal the big player to how to play. See high roller gorilla big player. Alright, Bishop, Arnold Snyder's self-appointed Bishop First Church of the Blackjack, inaugurated in October 25th, 1981, Caesars Tahoe, Skyline, Nevada. Snyder sermons 4 times of the year over the page of the Blackjack Formula magazine publication card counters. BJ and Casino, the letter of the drop box beneath the 21 of the table. See Blackjack, Quick Eye, CRNRI's El Monte, California. The ingenious device of speed reading cards based on the principles of the stethoscope, compromised of the reviewing of the tube of the card's lighting tray with a maybe helpful to the player's side and alert enough to spot the cards accidentally flashed by the dealer. Short blackjack chip 100 chip to receive the black action free, but the dealer might inform the pit personnel that the player is wagering blackjacks. Typical times policy, most casinos use such green action. Black book, written black book, also called a list of the excluded persons of Nevada. The state maintain the undesirable people the most excluded of the gambling establishment of the own Griffin investigations. Black box, a small calculator computer dedicated to providing with the correct player strategy based on the given count, determined with the true count. See the computer's concealed blackjack calculator, cardboard, basic strategy wheel that fit in your hand. Blackjack Automatic BS. Blackjack 1, common reference for the game, 21 card game played between the dealer, 1, 2, 7 players, also called Vinton, Pontoon, or Van John, when the player's first 2 cards are in eights and any 10 value, also called Natural Snapper, Casino 21 Blackjack, automatic winner unless tied with the dealer. Blackjack 2, Casino Rules, player Blackjack wins at 3 to 1. If the Blackjack always wins, is paid even money. If the basic strategy player is lost about 2.1%. If he paid 2 to 1, the player has an advantage about 2.3%. The origin of the game of the blackjack, sometimes uncertain, but have the men played with the country earlier with the 18th century. Said to have the men the favorite of the Napoleon, only in relatively recent years have they called blackjack. Blackjack 2, with an anti-card counting system developed by Thomas Keddock, president of the Division Corporation of Absence Journey, Murray Kirch. For the casino, double shoe for the 12 decks held with the 2 separate compartments was proposed. Single deck would be red, single decks 6 decks would be red, 6 decks would be blue, with the dealing alternately based on a suit of color. Blackjack 21 calculator, Radio Shack, wallet-sized blackjack collector. Blackjack 2-in-1 solitary blackjack calculator. Toshiba BC 1010 blackjack calculator, similar to the Unisonic computer calculator of the 10-digit game, which can be played with the dealer with the features: betting insurance, double down, split pairs, hit and state decisions, win-loss function, keeping track of how you were doing, and also regular calculator. Originally sold for about $30 from the May Company in the West Eastern Department Stores. Black and gold card. Charles J. Enterprise, Holland, Florida. 9-pocket size basic strategy card. 4 sides. Give the accurate of the basic strategy with a multi-deck game. Variation: single deck, double out, split, no soft, doubling, no surrounding. However, the information: 11 cardinal rules. Blackjack pot, bonus game off of the reserve of the casino of the Atlantic City during 1992, with the jackpot start with the $250 increased to 1 cent per second until the player has reached out an ace of the spades, jack of spades on the first round of the 8-deck game. Blackjack mate, a 1 2 3 5 5 1 2 3 1 2 3 5 progression betting system offered along with the accurate advice of the basic strategy insurance. Originally sold for about $10. Blackjack profits with McCall, Blackjack shields, card counting, prevention, and apparatus. So McKinney dialogue, Westman, Illinois' method to prevent players from seeing each other at the hand. Blackjack winning wheel, Artec products. Blind shuffle procedure appearing to the mix of the pack of the cards while maintaining a stacked deck. See false shovel. A blister is dealing with a blister, the cheating technique whereby the deck is prepared in advance, lightly pressing all of the high cards or all the low cards against a tiny needle like a projection. This leaves a bump or blister which the dealer can feel. Body language: see tell play, bonus, bond, or see bonus, a bonus hand to paid extra, or to win automatically on special hands only. Few occasions for the offered bonuses. Special card combinations of bonus include the following hand: 6 card automatic winner, 5 to 21 double plays double, 21 to 2 to 1 for blackjack, ace and jack bonus, joker's wild, any 21 automatic winner, 22 same as 21, 6 7 8 automatic winner, 7 7 the 7 automatic winner, 5 5 5, and others. Occasionally you will find bonus options offered to the player. This includes, for example, the optional double down any number of the cards to see with the progressive blackjack bop. Jump with the table. The table, if the deck shoes becomes favorable to the player's wonging. See with the table hopping. Bottoms, also called bottom dealer, deal with the bottom of the deck. See with the seconds and bottom dealer. Bottom dealer, dealer who deals from the bottom of the deck. Bottom void system, also called with the player bettering in the blackjack system. Blackjack, see big player common acronym, bad penetration, BR stands for black roll. Braun high low, Julian Braun has calculated the strategic Lawrence for river books for the high op 1 and 2 systems are major for the influence of the development of the computer proven blackjack system, high low system. Aces and 10s are negative, and then 8 and 7, 8 and 9s are 0. The rest of the cards are 1. Betting check and a break is also called a bust. 2 cards, draw cards exceed the card count with 21 when the player busts, always lost regardless of the final outcome of the dealer's hand. It is an interest note that the primary advantage of the casino has over the players in blackjack arises of the fact dealers with a break average approximately 28% of the time. Basic strategy players, on the other hand, will bust only about 16% of the average. Break card clumping. A clumping of the effect of the player breaking, generally limited to the multi-deck games. Break cards. Cards valued 6 through 10. The only cards that can break the dealer or the player, since all the dealers must stand at 17, and most players stand on 17 as well. Breakdown of bet. Casino dealing with a separate chip of various colors with a separate stacks. A single denomination preferred, but the dealers make it easier to pay off the bet. A casino policy to prevent cheating on the dealer's part, but it's also called the rainbow bet. Break-in dealer, new dealer with the dealers in training. Break-in tellers, 2 coin. Stephen Fort refers to giving the break-in the dealers when they have fear having to pay out for the big rainbow bets, break the bank or the Blackjack team, and expansion referring to the time when which monies are distributed to members of the team. Break over the deck, the shuffle up, the stop, the play over the handle, reshuffle off, and use the casino game control measure for the player with a suggested card counting the player. Suddenly increases his bet breaking hand. 2 cards totaling 12 to 16 points. So-called because a single card may put the total point over 121C bust. Bridge, card bent in such a fashion to be recognized with the person making the cut, indicating the cards to be cut with the play for the bridge. Card slightly covered with may have the intentionally unintentionally see the warp. BS, acronym basic meaning of 10 basic strategy, which is presented in the chapter 4, bubble peak. Action of the dealer squeezing on the top of the card deck with between his or little finger with the tail of the hand so you can see the index value of the card before dealing it. Bump. A dealing term referring to the push card. Dealers often make with the stack of the chips into the player's short back of the betted stack while cutting the excess chips off of the both stacks are equal. Pays off are usually preferred this way. However, the players should be aware that the expert dealers manipulate the chips in such a way that they actually cheat the players off of their own chips. The players itself, the cheating technique can be done only by when the player has a multiple unit bet out. Burn as the turn to burn a card to remove the card from play as burn card. Burn card, the card is removed at the beginning of the new deck and shoot, but the new dealer comes on duty. One or more burn cards typically placed in the discard tray and on the bottom of the handheld deck of the card. Single of the deck games, burn cards usually not shown with a multi-deck game shown on the request of some casinos. Single of deck games, especially with the various advantages of the player and to know that the value of the burn cards vary. As you bury a card, place a card in the middle of the deck among the discards so that they cannot be readily located. Bust or break bust box. These is a side bet which you will break the exactly one card chain. The basic strategy include betting the bust box of 15 and 16 versus 7, 8, 9, 10 and aces, and 17 versus 8, 9, and 10 aces, and bust out blackjack, also called bust out 21. Side bet, but the players can bet that the dealer will bust on the 10 value card when he has a total of 12 or 16. For the first 2 cards that makes the best similar with the insurance best exact option will come up to the 4 times often. You can bet twice as much. The side bet was first introduced by Golden Gate Casino in Las Vegas during September 1993. Button, see marker. Buy-in amount of the money exchanged at the table of the chips before beginning the play. With the example, the typical buy-in with a $5 minimum table seed might be $100. The dealer may, in the case, would usually give the player 2 green 25 chips and 10 red 5 chips. The typical player buying the char therefore developed the actual observation of how many players enter the game. RC Caddy Blackjack, a private blackjack game popular with the Northeast where the dealer rotates with player to player. Cage, the casino cashier located with the casino habit of placing the cage in the back of the farthest point with the entrance to the exit. California Blackjack, Ace of 9, factitious expression, call bet, amount of the bet called out by the player without exact amount of the money with the evidence. The call bets are typically not allowed into player blackjack table unless the player has excellent casino credit and has money in the cage. Call for insurance. This is an announcement made by the dealer to players where the dealer has an ace-up card. See insurance. Calling number to blackjack team and the expression of the predetermined number of the representative with adjusting running count used for the counter to signal a big player to the table. Call plays the blackjack team expression referencing signals given to the blackjack player with the counter has much of the bet and how much to play the hands. Camouflage disguises the way which you're betting and playing with the draw attention to the fact that the card counting see active for the cover. Canada, number 1990, there were at least 32 legal casinos in Canada. At the time, Canada rules are somewhat Canada and somewhat in Canada following being the exact max bet $25, 4 to 6 decks face up. And those insurance splitting doubling rules vary. Candy store often used as literature referring to casino excellent blackjack rules and conditions. Canfield experts, ace is 0, 2 is 0, 3 is 1, 4 is 1, 5 is 1, 6 is 1, 7 is 1, 8 is 0, 9 and 10 are negative 10. Basic counting strategy is a 80% versus player's efficiency 63. Canfield master advanced point systems, ace is 0, 2 is 1, 3 is 1, 4 is 2, 5 is 5 is 2, 6 is 2, 7 is 1, 8 is 0, 9 is negative 1, and 10 is negative 2. Can't see precision count cap. A chip of a different denomination, top of the stack of the chips are the same with the denomination. CHS to add a chip or a chip is better after the charge of card count and table numeric value of the card held in count. Card count. Blackjack player who have kept mentally a tally with the cards played with the betting of the playing purpose. The typical card will be higher than the detect the favorable situation positive count. Use card vary with the basic strategy of the card counter will also take advantage of the take of the note of the insurance. Also, the case of the deck. Card counting system. A system is based on some of the fact the deck shoe with the deficiency. Small card player with a greater than normal advantage when the deck of the shoe. Deficiency high card player is less than the normal advantage. General all provision card counting system have been placed based on random shuffle point counting system. Side note, if the article Dr. Howard Mitchell once wrote with a describe of the 5 distinct classes of blackjack as basic, intermediate, advanced, professional, and expert. Card dubber is a person who marks to the back of the cards, purpose of the cheating and mark with the cards of the C with the dub. Card down statement made by the pit boss or floor man with the dealer when the card is dropped off from the table. The dealers are not allowed to bend over it and leave the chip tray exposed. Therefore, a pit boss or other person must retrieve anything when the dealer drops. Eating cards. Cardoso basic counting strategy. Caribbean casino gambling illegal in many of the countries, Caribbean and South America. You'll find blackjack offered in the following countries: Aruba, Bahamas, the Montero, Colombia, Curacao, and several other. Carson City, state capital in Namibia, a small city with the Lake Tahoe, west of the Reno. Carson City, population over 40,000. Several small casinos offer blackjack games rules typical of the Reno. Carter RPI. RPI stands for progressive increments. Casing. See case for that. Case for the deck. Count the deck. To observe closely with the composition of the cards played without counting, then make the decision based on the limited information. See with the card counter. Casey consumable computer developing strategy. Stephen Goldberg in the early 1980s, which originally sold for about $4,000. Believe it had been copied with the key of the tab of David computer. C. George Cashier. C. Cage. Casino, also called house, joint, shop, storage, toilet, or trap, establishment, office of the legalized gambling. Casino manager, the individual will oversee the entire casino operation. Casino win rate, the normal casino, the blackjack rates of averaging type, and some of the player with approximately 15 to 16% according to Blackjack Conventional Magazine. Low blackjack will rates of 11 to 14% may indicate games favorable for the player with the high win rates. With 17 to 22% may indicate house games. These wins are great figures otherwise known as hold percentage win rates, catch 22, also called push 22. A blackjack advertising given away with occasional offer with the casino with a coupon would give you a push on 22. If you were to double the 12 in buzz for the coupon would save you entire bet. This recommended playing strategy for this type of the coupons would be double with 12, including 6 and 6 against 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and the hits on all 12s or 3s. Of 3s or more cards or other hands by normal basic jack strategy. Catwalk, narrow walkway above the ceiling. Other gambling tables due to the security monitoring and players' actions. Most of modern casinos no longer have catwalks, and security monitoring can be now performed in network television cameras controlled from a central location. See Eye in the Sky, CCB, Clump Card, Blackjack, CCC, New York, NGA, CCC, CF conversion factor, Chambliss, CR point count, chain space, one blackjack table, the area with the layout in the front of the dealer where the money is exchanged in chips. Charlie J's blackjack gold card, the 2 pieces of the business card, acrobatic strategy, multiple decks, double down, split allowed. Also, they include variation, single deck, double down, split is not allowed and surrendered. And tips evaluating game, bankroll guidelines, 11 cardinal rules. Cheating. Nevada legislature defines cheating as to alter selection of the criteria to determine A of the result of the game, the amount of the frequency of the payment of the game, need of a court. So also have commented that card counting cannot be considered cheating as in one court cause case the following statement was made. By the contrast of the card counter, one who uses the point system to keep the track of the cards have been played does not alter any of the basic features of the game. Here, merely use the mental skills to take advantage of the same information that is available to the players. And that's Shefflin, Washoe, Carney versus Martin. A New Jersey Administrative Code states any person who has any of the trick of the slightly hand performance or by fraudulent scheme card devices from himself with another wins and attempts to win the prop money or property represented either guilty of the crime. Check rack, see check chip. Checks. Non-metallic game token size with a silver of the various colors of the denomination casino play for the currency more commonly called chips. These most typical color scheme of the denomination give the blackjack table of files. Check colors above the $100 are common and found with being example. Chips are also be even the players keep track of the count, keep track of the shuffle, manage their money with the single teammates. Three types of chips typically used within the casino are negotiable chips, non-negotiable chips, and match play chips. Chinese blackjack, a dealer hand with a 10 up card with a 4 in the hole with a 4 looks like an eighth. Many Orientals have custom squeezing these cards, opening with a 2 card hand, small fraction of time until the second card comes into view. Chip tray, also called the rack, the rectangular metal tray with the container with the casino chip silver with a particular tray table. With this tray, it lies flat with the middle table in front with the deal with the chips are typically organized with the denomination silver and lower value chips over the outside with the higher value chips in the middle. Some chip, C-check, CHS, the acronym U of the book referring to trading strategy method chunk, the over bet with the bet in large amounts. KC count or precision count clap. As a clap in the hands when many dealers are part of the casino policy when they are relieved with another dealer is done to show with the watchful eyes of the security that the dealer has not palmed any chips. Club the black figures club marking one of the 4 suits of playing in the card. Club card. Clump card blackjack. Clump card blackjack is a systematic approach of exploiting excessive clumping often found in the shoe games, but then includes specific table selection departure of the criteria. Also applies specific basic betting strategies designed to take advantage of various game type of the personalities. Clumping as clumping of the cards, specifically card domination, stay together during the shuffle. The process of the light cards clumping cold. And if the deck is cold, the signify of the deck of the shoe has recently been very unfavorable to signify of the deck of the shoe as unfavorable to the player. That is high minus count with a C high or cold turkey slang for a hand consisting of the 2-face cards. Culver advising Ace card counting system in which the players keep the track of the excessive tens over the non-ace cards, lower cards, 2s and 5s, the other non-ace cards plus count over the aces. And it's called for scientific jack. Ace is 2, 1/3, and 1/3, and 8, 2, 3, 9 is 1/3, and jack, and 10s are native 2 and 3, 2/3. Alright, color, disadvantage denomination, the table chips is black, color, the reference is jack, queen, and king. Color for color, instruction of the dealer, the play of the player's bet with the same denomination of those backing up the original bet with the barber's pole. Color up the exchange of the one denomination chip with the higher one. Dealer will often ask the player for the color up before the leave of the table. They're usually done for one reason. A, the dealer's chip tray is needed for a lower denomination chip, and B, the dealer wishes you to make known that the amount of your win or losses. Colorado, low limit blackjack game when available the same with the type of the writing with the limits of the exceed with the increase to 25 to 100 in the next few years. The area of the interest of Black Hawk, Central City, and Cripple Creek. Comp, abbreviation complimentary with the privilege you the casino hotels for the fee for the charge of the compilation give the player depending on his level of play you the variety of the hotel casino strictly meals lodging and entertainment with no cost the room food and beverage comps are most typical for high rollers often given the free airfare and other special privileges as well. Complimentary are promotional tools intended to maintain a list of patrons who wager large amounts. Most professional blackjack players shy away from accepting comps due to the fear of that being detected or barred from the playing is in this casino. The casino compartment of the ways managed with the proper behavior in the proper casino compartment typically comes with experience. Computech of the Canyon Lake of the California conceivable computer developed with a GG questionable ones marked with a J or Patterson for about $800 Drew count calculator that didn't advise the player how to play his hand. Cards are not permitted in the casino. Cards that are not permitted in the casino blackjack computers have a design to determine the true count of the make of the perfect playing with a decision based on the given count, specifically statute that exists and invented to make the felony to use the device. Atlantic City you also took to leave if you were caught with a concealed computer. If you return to the device, you could be arrested for disorderly conduct charge. Atlantic Casino also not lobbying for a tougher law. See George David, the Complicant, Cassie, Alston, 21 Connor, and Fred. Conklin system, Connecticut, one of the largest Indian casinos in the country, currently with the Foxwood casinos located in the Ledyard Indian Blackjack, conventional surrender, lathe surrender with the conventional conversion factor CF, the number of which the running count is multiplied divided by the derived Kuhn count to count the number of the base of the percentage cards that have not been put into play. For simplicity, usually with the reflect the number of the decks in the shoe, or 1/4 or 1/2 the deck remains in single deck of the game. Cooler, deck with the number of the decks, prearranged sequence, interested into playing cheating players, see star decks, stacked decks. Core system, a card counting system intended with a beat, the non-random system, only 5, 6, 7, and the 8s are counted. Correlation efficiency count, usually reference a running count with the cumulative value of the cards placed in the given time of the variety of the different counting system assigning point values to the card dealt in the game. For example, high-low card counting system would be assigned the following values as the card. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, positive 1, 7, 8, 0, 10, Jack, Queen, King, -1, Ace, -1. Most good count cards count decks, and with 20 seconds or left, the author has been told the best record counting deck down the deck is in order of 10 and 11 seconds in true count. Counter and card counting counter measure with a casino counter measure game control coupon on a mini with the profiting opportunity created with the casino competition, even the base part of the expectation gaming coupons. See fun books, match books, lucky books. Cover measured card counting is described the counting cover is quite necessary to do with the casino awareness of the valid blackjack winning strategies. See camouflage. Cover bet, a bet made with a card counter described with the casino personnel with the fact with the counting. This includes with a large bet off the top of the table, a small bet with favorable count, large bet with the unfavorable count. See cover play. Cover play player hand by a card counter described with the casino personnel with the fact that he is counting these players usually but not always minor strategy error. See cover bet. The CR point count system, ace is -1, 2 is 1.5, 3 is 1, 4 is 1, 5 is 1, 6 is 1, 7 is a half, 8 is 0, 9 is 0, and 10 is -1. The crane system, credit player has money, the deposit of the cage has been approved for the purpose of the gambling. See front money marker, credit slip and fill slip, the crippling of the cheating method of the handling, bending the card, identifying the future of play, cruise ships gambling, the new phenomenon of recent year, with the example of Florida voters reject casino gambling with the state territory cannot stop and ships from offering gambling once they get out 3 miles off the coast. Interesting note that they most often cruise ship companies in the country are foreign owned and are most registered in the other countries. Cruise ship rules, blackjack rules somewhat even on the cruise ship, however they following typical examples: 6 deck shoes, double to 9, 10, and 11 only, double after splits allowed. Bahama, your cut offered by the dealer with the player just after the shuffle before the first hand of the cut intends to split the deck of the shoe into the different order. Of the most casinos require that the players cut a minimum number of cards for the top of the bottom. Players who are able to track shuffle influence of the game, placing them in the cut card in more favorable position than other sophisticated card location techniques exist. Shuffle tracking of the cutting of the deck check for the decker runs and the fingers across the 2 stacks of the check to verify that they are the same. Card count, solid piece of card cut card, a solid piece of the plastic tip on the side of the regular place, and cards inserted into the deck of the shoe. Determine the point in which the card will be shuffled to you. The cut card in game known as the flex shuffle point. In home game, the cut card is often the joker or cut. Cut-offs, tracking of the cut-offs of these unplayed cards are shuffle point and behind the cut card. Alright, D, and this is actually getting to be quite lengthy.